How to transfer your voter registration. Did you move houses between now and the last elections? Is your new address in a different barangay, municipality, city, or province? If you say yes to any of the two questions, you need to apply for a transfer of voter registration with the Commission on Elections or Comelec office in your new area of residence. This is if you want to be able to cast your vote where you live now. The process of transferring your voter registration is almost similar to applying as a first-time voter. For purposes of the 2022 Philippine elections, you can register until September 30, 2021. Here's how. 1. Fill out the application form. Fill out an application form called the CEF-1. It can be downloaded from the Comelec website or obtained from the office of the election officer in your city or municipality. If you are going to print the form, make sure that it is printed on an 8 by 13 inches paper and printed back to back. Shade the oval beside the application for transfer of registration record, and answer whether you are transferring your registration within the same, or from another, city or municipality. Provide your new address and the length of time you have stayed there. A person needs to be a resident of the place where he or she plans to vote for at least 6 months prior to the May 9, 2022, elections. If you want to transfer your registration to another city or municipality, you need to complete a personal information form, which can be found on the second page of the CEF-1 form. If you are a person with disability or a senior citizen, you need to also fill out Annex B or the supplementary data form. Because of the pandemic, all applicants also need to fill out and submit a health declaration form. The application form for voter registration can also be accomplished through the iRehistro website. Using the online platform, however, does not mean you are registered automatically. Do not sign or affix your thumbmark on the application form at home. You need to sign it in front of the election officer in your local Comelec office. 2. Submit the application form and other required documents to your local Comelec office. Go to your local Comelec office or the office of the election officer (OEO) to submit your completed application for registration and necessary documents. You can also get and fill out the forms at the local Comelec office. To find the Comelec office nearest you, check the Comelec website for details of the poll bodies. Metro Manila and city, municipality offices. Applications for registration may be filed at the office of the election officer in your city or municipality from Monday to Friday, and at satellite registration offices every Saturday, from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Voter registration will run until September 30, 2021. The poll body reminds the public to contact local Comelec offices ahead of time since OEOs are closed during the disinfection days prescribed by the local governments. Satellite registration schedules may vary per locality. Bring a valid identification document to prove your identity: employee's ID with employer's signature, postal ID, PWD ID, student's ID, or a library card, signed by school authority, senior citizen's ID. Driver's license, NBI clearance, passport, SSS, GSIS ID, integrated bar of the Philippines ID license issued by the Professional Regulatory Commission for Indigenous Peoples or members of indigenous cultural communities, a certificate of confirmation from the National Commission on Indigenous Peoples. Any other valid ID, police clearance, and cedulas are not accepted. If you do not have any of the mentioned documents, the Comelec says on its website that an applicant may be identified under oath by any registered voter of the precinct where he/she intends to be registered, or by any of his/her relatives within the fourth civil degree of consanguinity or affinity. A registered voter may identify only up to three applicants. Your biometrics will then be collected using the Comelec's voter registration machine. These include your photo, fingerprints, and signature. You will be given an acknowledgement receipt that shows you have successfully filed your application for transfer of voter registration. Do not lose this small document. 3. Wait for your application to be approved. Submitting your application to the Comelec does not mean you are already registered for the 2022 national and local elections. The Election Registration Board (ERB) needs to approve your application first. The ERB approves all qualified applicants during its quarterly meetings, which happen on the third Monday of April, July, October, and January of every calendar year. Once your application is approved, the local election officer will include your registration in the book of voters in your locality. This means you have successfully transferred your registration. You can ask your local Comelec office about the status of your application 2 to 3 weeks after an hearing.